Hello everyone, my name is Gabby, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super review. This time we're reviewing episode 26. Golden Frieza is fighting Goku, and it looks like Goku is no match for him. While we said this would be no trouble at all if Goku and Vegeta just teamed up, Vegeta is getting frustrated, wanting to jump in himself. Through Vegeta's comments, Goku realizes that Golden Frieza has a weakness. His power is too great and his body isn't used to it, causing him to lose stamina rapidly. And once Frieza loses his stamina, Goku counterattacks and starts taking him down easily. Realizing the battle is over, Goku reverts to his base form and tells Frieza that he'll take him on again anytime. And then he gets blasted through the chest by Sorbet attacking him from behind. It turns out this was a contingency plan between Frieza and Sorbet in case that he failed, although it wouldn't have worked if Goku hadn't let his guard down. Frieza, using this moment of weakness, is about to kill Goku until he gets interrupted. It's Vegeta, who says that now it's his turn to fight. So, what did I like about this episode? This might be somewhat surprising, but I actually like the ring issue. Gotta capitalize the T and capitalize the R, the ring. I actually kind of like this. A lot of people were saying that this is kind of inconsistent and that Goku should not be hit by something, should not be actually damaged by something as common as a ray gun. But first of all, Dragon Ball Super's version somewhat changed it a little by having Goku actually revert to his base form before he got hit. So it's not just like this laser is Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan tier. It's just like this laser can just hit like normal Goku, so it makes it a little bit more believable. And in general, I kind of like this plot point because it gives Goku a bit of a weakness. Problem is, Goku just has so many abilities and he's just so powerful, sometimes he does feel almost kind of invincible at some points. But having him have this sort of weakness that if he lets his guard down, even weaker attacks can hit him, I just think it's really interesting, and I think it can actually lead to more interesting situations later on, despite how ridiculous people think this entire concept is. Also, this is obviously in the movie as well, but I do really like the way they handled Frieza's power and his eventual weakness. In that, like Golden Frieza's power is just so strong that his body doesn't actually handle it and he starts losing energy rapidly. And it's sort of the same thing that happens in the original fight where he tries to go to 100% power, but here it's played up like it's more of a significant deal. And I think it's a really nice plot point because first of all, kind of sort of zigzag the whole idea that, if you're the strongest, then that means you win a battle, because here it's saying, Frieza is stronger than Goku, but he's got a flaw there, so then Goku's able to win. I think it's a really smart way of dealing with sort of power levels. And it also fits Frieza's character in that Frieza just doesn't understand because he's just really ignorant about this sort of fighting and getting stronger and stuff, because hey, he's never trained a day in his life, so when he started training and he got really, really strong, he's just like, oh wow, I got this new golden form, I'm clearly stronger than Goku now, that's all that matters, I'm not even going to go and try to adjust to this form, I'm not even going to care if I actually realize if my body can handle it for an extended period of time. Also, this episode at least actually had fighting in it, so that's a bit of an improvement. As for what I didn't like about this episode, first of all, there was the change where they decided that in this case, Vegeta would be the first one to realize Golden Frieza's weakness, and it was only through Vegeta hinting that Goku was able to figure it out in the first place. I don't really know if this, it is kind of plausible, I guess. It's just, you think that Goku is generally the fighting genius, but then again, at some point in the manga, Piccolo says that Vegeta's also a fighting genius. They're both fighting geniuses because they're not smart at anything else, but they know how to fight and they know how to discover opponents' weaknesses. But it's just an unusual change because they seem to figure it out about the same time in the Resurrection F the movie. And if we're talking about out-of-universe stuff, this episode was really weird in terms of audio. First of all, there were some parts where the characters' mouths were moving, but then there was no actual dialogue itself, as if they originally thought there was dialogue and they put that there, but then they changed it at the last minute, but they didn't change the lip flaps, and that is a big deal. That is an actual real error that takes you out of the action because you're why aren't they talking? This doesn't make any sense. It feels like that was an actual error in production. And the other big thing was when Sorbet blasts Goku through the chest, the music just cuts off. I get what they were trying to convey with that, to just sort of it's just sort of to try and make you think that everything's okay, and then the music suddenly cuts off, and it's oh wait, what's going on? But the way they handled it, it didn't work in my opinion. It just made you think there was something wrong with the audio track. It didn't make you think like, oh, well, hey, the music is interrupted, it's funny, it's kind of like breaking the fourth wall, it's whatever. So I actually kind of hope they try to fix that a bit in like maybe the Blu-rays, because that was a major issue and like a real like production issue. And like it just didn't even seem intentional, or it was intentional but it wasn't handled very well. This is something I did not expect I would say in a TV show in general, but like that's a big issue. As for next episode, Vegeta is going to step into the action, things are going to explode, new forms are going to be like obtained as well, things are happening. If you haven't seen the ending of Resurrection F, prepare to be a bit disappointed. If you have seen the ending to Resurrection F, also prepare to be disappointed, because they're not going to change anything. But I personally don't have much of a problem with the... No, I do. I mean, the ending is not the best. The ending to the Resurrection F, the movie, is not the best ending Dragon Ball Z has ever done. But at the same time, I don't have as much of an issue with it as everyone else does, and I'll explain more of that next week. So that was Dragon Ball Super episode 26. It was alright. To be honest, the fight, considering this is almost the bulk of the fighting between Goku and Golden Frieza, the fighting has not been very good overall. And honestly, this like arc in particular, even if you do compare it to the Battle of Gods arc, this arc in particular feels a lot more rushed in terms of production, because there's just some weird stuff, and like it does not feel like they're getting enough time to like really care about this and like, you know, look at all the minute details, because there's just a lot of just room for nitpicking. Not in terms of like the story, but you know, in terms of like storyboards, animation, just fight choreography, stuff like that. If I was that kind of person, I could spend like, you know, 20 minutes just nitpicking about everything that was wrong in this episode in terms of the fighting, but I don't do that, so I'm not going to. I don't know if this is a sign that means that like they're trying to focus all their resources onto the Universe 6 material now, and maybe that's why the quality of Resurrection F arc is suffering, or if it's just that this quality of the Resurrection F arc is just going really badly. But I mean, the Battle of Gods arc never got this bad. The final fight with Beerus was actually pretty good, especially episodes 11 and 13. So I'm not really sure what's going on with this arc right now, but basically, the fighting is not very good. The story is improving. But the fight is not very good. So it depends what you want to actually see when you're watching Resurrection F, I guess. So this is Gabby signing out, and I'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.